Hey everybody, Adam Tereska Videos, and guess where we're going today? That's right, we're going to the Lyndon B. Johnson Space Center, NASA, Houston, Texas. Okay everybody, everyone want to take a guess as to where I'm at today? We'll check these out in more detail as soon as we get inside, but I thought I'd give you a little teaser here. Let's just see what's up. Thought you might want to get a kick out of that. Let's head inside and let's go get the shot. Hey everybody, it's Adam Tereska here. I'm in Houston, Texas, and I'm at the Space Museum here in Houston. And we're going to check out the layout here, see what they have here. I know other people have done videos on this before, and I'm going to add myself to the list. We're going to have some fun today. Let's go check out the scenes. Now there's a sight for you. The Space Shuttle Independence sitting on top of a 747 Boeing airliner. Talk about a new variation of piggybacking, huh? I'm not sure what they've done with other space shuttles, but we know what the Independence is, and that's right here. And that's how they would transport them from Houston, Texas, down to Florida. As you can see, the space shuttle is all a bunch of foam blocks. And from my understanding here, going on what's on the side of the jet, basically shows it'll be carrying the space shuttle, and then what will happen is it actually releases it during the flight, and they'll glide the shuttle into Cape Canaveral, from what I can understand. I may be wrong on that, but as I get inside later on, I will go ahead and I'll show you some of that, and you'll be able to find out more of the facts on that. Okay, right now we're looking at Falcon 9, going by the board here. This is Falcon 9. Again, I'm still outside yet. I haven't gone inside yet to do the full viewing, but I'm giving you an outside preliminary before we go inside. And there's the board there. Give you a little rundown on the rocket here. This is unbelievable. It's so nice to know this stuff has been preserved and it hasn't just been scrapped. I'm sure there's other units that have been scrapped in the course of time, but to see that this one's still around, it's really nice. Okay. I'll get even closer to it right now, but this is a technical overview board of the Falcon 9. And like I said, once I get inside, I'll get you a better close-up on it, but just a general idea of what it has to offer here. Right now, And before I go inside, I want to go over and check on the jets that are out by this main road that come here. That's how you'll be able to tell which exits to come into. And I'll show you what those are in a sec. Here's two jets that are over here from NASA. The N900NA and the N968NA. Wing number 00 on this near one, and the far one is number 68. And here is a rundown. Here's a picture. The jets were in escort to the 747 carrying the shuttles. And as you can see here, don't mind the wildlife. In addition to its role as a trainer, the T-38 is used as a chase aircraft supporting test flights and other research missions. During early space shuttle landing tests, for example, the T-38 flew yards away to document the flight characteristics of the spacecraft. NASA's small fleet of T-38s is housed mainly at Ellington Airport here in Houston. Again, we got more wildlife here on the board here, but it says astronauts train on T-38 jets. The T-38 Talon is a twin-engine, high-altitude supersonic jet trainer aircraft. Basic astronaut training has included T-38 courses since the mid-1960s. Flying the jets is important training for the astronauts because the sleek, fast jets require quick thinking in dynamic situations, similar to the challenges of spaceflight. Mission commanders and pilots are required to fly T-38s 15 hours a month to keep up their proficiency. Astronauts who do not have duties at the controls of a spacecraft record 4 hours a month on the jets. NASA chose the T-38, like the two on display, for astronaut training based on its performance abilities, low maintenance costs, and outstanding safety record. The tandem seating, one seat behind the other, is ideal for training. The T-38 Talon jet is made primarily of riveted aluminum alloy. It is capable of taking off in as little as 2,300 feet, 700 meters of runway, and climbing to 30,000 feet in 1 minute. And here's the specs on it, which is a two-person crew. The thrust is 2,680 pounds force of dry thrust, 3,850 after the afterburners. Has a max speed of 1.8 Mach with J85 turbojets with afterburners for engines. There's two of them. Primary function is advanced jet aircraft pilot trainer. 25-foot 3-inch wingspan, 44 feet 2-inch length, 12 feet 11 inches high. Has a 55,000-foot ceiling. Has a 750-mile range and was built by the Northrop Corporation. They can get you from point A to point B in a quickness, can't they? Beautiful jets. Great to see them preserved. Here's another one of the older units they used in NASA. This is called a BPK. It shows here that it's a test Apollo spacecraft, and it reads, as part of the Apollo program, NASA built prototype command modules called boilerplates to test equipment and procedures. Boilerplates were used to avoid the risk of damaging the more expensive actual spacecraft during drop tests, flotation tests, parachute tests, flammability tests, and more. This boilerplate, known as BPK, is one of a series built in Texas and designated as the 1200 series. The boilerplates do not have integral equipment since they simulated the weight and external characteristics for water tank and ocean tests. Engineers tested flotation collars, buoyancy, and retrieval procedures performed by the U.S. Navy. It goes on. This boilerplate was requested in 1966 by NASA engineer John Kimsey for use as a chamber for fire extinguisher tests. The boilerplate was modified so that it could be filled with more pure oxygen at various pressures. Immediately following the Apollo 1 fire in 1967, BPK was modified again for small-sized flammability tests. This helped certify all new materials before Apollo space flights could resume. After Apollo's program test concluded, BBK was used for Space Shuttle Thermal Protection System tests through 1983. The boilerplate serial number has been forgotten, so it continues to be known as BPK, the unofficial designation given to it by Kimsey. While its use and testing programs ended, BPK was refurbished for public display. Some of the pipes and flanges were left in place to preserve its history as a test chamber. And here you can see pictures of it being used for the testing purposes. Alright, and with that, it's on your head into the museum. There's the mural that's on the top of the building there. Official Visitor Center of the NASA Johnson Space Center. That might be an event I might be going to, the Moon to Mars Festival. Definitely something that seems like it would be of interest in, so.
I would totally pay for it, but I have $37.
It looks like it'll be a fun event, so we'll have to look into that. All right, we are inside. We get ready to get scanned in here with our ticket.
Oh, for God's sake.
Yes.
Hold it down until it turns green, sir.
Up there we go. Thank you. All right. Oh boy, where do we begin in this place, huh? Wow. This is insane. I guess we'll just start with the exhibits that are here because I don't even know where to begin in this place. This place is huge. We'll go with this unit right here, which is a space exploration vehicle. Give you a look inside and I'll show you the detail board on it. This is cool. Look inside of there from the front. This thing is just incredible. Like I said, we'll get to a detail board on it momentarily, but this is absolutely cool. Now, because I don't know how well you can see it on the camera, so I'll read it out to you. But this is referred to as a space exploration vehicle. NASA is testing concepts for space exploration vehicles that offer advanced features compared to the last crewed roving space vehicle, the Apollo lunar rover. The next generation of small vehicles would be used by astronauts already in space to get closer to mission targets, increasing exploration time and safety. This prototype tested a modular concept with a cabin that fit various mobility platforms. And platforms included wheeled chassis, in-space propulsion system displayed, and a hopper for low-gravity environments such as Moon or Mars. It had an enclosed pressurized cabin for 2 astronauts on expeditions of up to 14 days, emergency capacity for 4 crew members for 24 hours, a high-visibility cockpit, robot arms for handling satellites and other objects of interest, stowable, pointable solar array for generating electricity, 4 cells, rechargeable batteries, automated rendezvous and docking technology that could be also advanced technology for the electronic vehicles on Earth, 2 international standard docking hatches to dock other space vehicles, life support systems, and suit ports so astronauts could suit up and exit the vehicle in less time than a typical airlock and minimize the loss of life support gases. As we come over, again, I don't even know where to begin here. This is crazy, just how much stuff is in here. We've got a lot of simulators here that they have available for you to use. And I'll start off with a walk around. But there is so much stuff to see in here. I mean, it is crazy. We'll do a quick walk around. We'll go inside some of the different things to observe. And just absolutely enjoy ourselves here. I may end up getting myself a membership to this place because it would be definitely worth it. Unit here that's apparently non-accessible right now. It's a simulator. And here you got a replica of a space station. Got some more virtual reality simulators. Just a variety of different items that they had available. We got some of the different spacesuits. This one is the suit of Michael Collins. And I'll let you read the thing here. I'll go down slowly, but if it's not slow enough, you can always pause the video. So that was Michael Collins' suit. Here's a shot of the suit of...
Still taking a picture now.
Charles Conrad.
Yes. Yes, we're still in the middle taking a picture.
Here's his board. If I'm going too fast for you, I apologize. You can always pause it and read it as you go down. I try to go as slow as I can so it can be read while I'm filming. Here's another view from a different angle of Astronaut Conrad's uniform. This is a suit that was worn by Paul P.J. Weitz. I'll give the readout page on it for you to see, and we'll be able to determine what kind of a suit this was. And again, this is Paul P.J. Weitz. That was a pretty cool story on Mr. Weitz, huh? This was Wally Schirra's suit that he wore on the Apollo. And here's his story right here. Very interesting about his mother being a wing walker. Such interesting information about the individuals, their personal sides of life and everything else. Very interesting. Are you a fan of Angry Birds? They even have stuff here for you. It seems like nobody gets left out here. That is me with thermal imaging on the human body temperature monitoring system. Pretty cool, huh? NASA is leading the journey to Mars. Apparently, NASA is developing the technology today that will be needed to send humans to Mars in the next couple of decades. Some of NASA's current efforts are focused on returning to the moon on the way to Mars. Missions to the moon provide a way to test and refine technology procedures needed for human exploration of Mars. Whether or not the humans will live long-term on Mars is hard to say, but NASA is working to send astronauts there, at least for a visit. In fact, it shows here NASA's actually working on a process to do that, saying getting astronauts to the Martian surface and returning them safely to Earth is an extremely difficult engineering challenge. NASA is charting a step-by-step course with more and more challenging missions as humans travel further from Earth. That ought to be interesting. And as we head inside, it gives you an idea, tells you why Mars. Here's one reason, board why. The second reason why. And yet another. It sounds like they got an idea of what they want to do here, and if they do things right, this could be a very, very big opportunity to jump upon. Can't get close enough to read them all, but you can get an idea here. Spin around over here. Some of the different boards that they show to give you an idea how things are.
Ready? 1, 2, and 3.
Go slow on it's panoramic. For those who like hot weather, Mars may not be for you. Here's the current weather statics. It's sunny with a high of 23 degrees Fahrenheit. No wind direction. Below 99 below zero.
Once again, we are boarding for Balloon 3, flight crew score 62.
There's even a mystery about methane. Yeah, if you're a person who likes beach weather, this Mars may not be for you. Mars Insider gives you an idea of how that is compared to the city of Houston. Two small moons, Phobos and Deimos. If you're looking for a quick weight loss program, go to Mars. You'll lose 62% of your body weight up there.
And is there any like thing that like, you know, in sci-fi they always have the like anti-gravity, like all the gravity, like the gravity comes. Is there anything like that? Because then you would think you would study it and then you would have the effects because you could go back and like the gravity.
No, the closest thing we have to anti-gravity still is taking people up on these flights. They're called something specific, but essentially it's a certain plane that they go straight up into the sky and then they drop. And they do that like a certain number of times.
Isn't it called the cute plane or something?
Yeah, it's something that's like the nickname.
Interesting. Mars is about half the size of Earth, and Mars is known for its red skies. And the reason is because of the iron dust in the atmosphere. It's 365 days for a year on Earth. It's 687 days, Earth days, for Mars to have a year. This is the one of the new vehicles they're coming out with, apparently. The Surface Exploration Rover is what they call it. Engineers at NASA's Johnson Space Center here in Houston developed a prototype for a tough, reliable, and multi-purpose surface exploration vehicle. Astronauts may explore miles beyond their landing site on Mars in a similar rover. The SEV builds upon lessons learned from Apollo rovers and also uses knowledge gained from robots on Mars. The SEV has a pressurized cabin for long trips and geologic study without the physical effort of wearing a spacesuit. It features suit ports for quick and easy exit and entry, keeping the interior clean and reducing wear and tear on the suits. Suit ports also minimize the loss of air inside the cabin. The vehicle's multiple wheels easily drive over difficult terrain. In case of a damaged wheel, the SEV keeps rolling on the remaining functional wheels. And here is the spec sheet on it. Here we have a number of different exhibits. informative boards that are going to be on the walls. Due to the cramped spaces, I won't be able to get to all of them. Excuse me. And whatnot. But here are the boosters. And they explain what they are. You got two solid boosted rocket boosters, the launch vehicle stage adapter, the Orion spacecraft adapter, and the launch abort system. For the Orion spacecraft, the Orion service module, interim cryogenic propulsion stage, and it shows that there are 4 RS-25 engines. And if these are not the actual units, these are one-to-one scale models of them. I believe these are original. And we have the RS-25 right over here. And of course, with the message board. I'll scan slowly so you can read it. Moving over to the right side. Again, I cannot stress enough how cool it is to have original pieces in the museum here. Look at that. This place is a cornucopia of displays, information, exhibits. It is absolutely phenomenal. Okay, movie buffs. Anybody remember this dude? And how can we forget about this little guy?
You can program them to move to a specific location at a certain time. Let's say Kitty's food dish first thing in the morning. You can also broadcast speech from a remote-controlled microphone. This entertainment wasn't cheap, though. It cost just over $550 in today's dollars. His right arm was programmable, but his left was pretty much just for looks.
Some of the other items they've had. Very cool. Here's more interesting pieces that they have here at the Johnson Space Center. More simulations that you can operate. shows up on the screen up there. And a vast variety of different items that you can check out. Let's go back to 1983, shall we?
Glad I remembered to grab a menu last time I was there. While I was out, my brother had left a message on the machine reminding me her sister's birthday was next week. Luckily, I had a Montgomery Ward catalog. So I picked out a cool fanny pack, wrote a check, and filled out the order form.
Records.
Looked up our address and typed a quick note to stick in with the card.
Record player.
Hopefully it'll get there in time.
8-track tapes. How about that, huh?
In the yellow pages.
If this cassettes weren't good enough.
What I wanted.
We offer several birthday arrangements.
I wish I could have seen a picture of the bouquet before I gave her
Different
my
stuff you had back
MasterCard
in the
number and
1980s.
address to send the receipt.
Your phone.
I'm beat. I think I'll drive across town and rent a movie.
Racetrack.
It's Saturday night. I hope the good ones aren't all gone by the time I get there. Or all that's left is Betamax. Maybe they'll let me reserve.
How long has it been since you've seen an original arcade Donkey Kong video game? Now, if I were to bring something home, this would definitely be it, because I could play that all day long. Remember the graphics like this? How times have changed over the last 40 years. Remember the game Light Bright, folks? I guess you could call this the industrial size variation. Let's see if I can do this here. This thing is almost 6 feet tall. That's crazy. Oops. I'd say it's probably about 5.5 feet tall. How about a 5.5 foot tall Light Bright set, huh? They have self-driving vehicles here. And here's an example of one of them right here. This is one of the ride parks in Disney World. Called the Autopia car. It's from Disneyland. Pretty neat to see. As far as semi-tractor trailers and over-the-road truckers go, if they were able to come up with something like this, that would be very beneficial. They can still get their loads on time, and they can even take breaks from driving, knowing that their trucks can get them to their locations. That would be more efficient and be beneficial for drivers, because they'll be able to take on more loads, make more money, and at the same time charge people less money for their products because they're able to do it in a more efficient manner. As we come over here, the thing about Tesla Motors, Elon Musk not only founded Tesla Motors but SpaceX. And there's the man responsible for the Tesla. now, if they can only get these cars down to a reasonable price range that would fit the normal man's budget instead of the aristocrat budget, that would be great. But until then, we will be relying on vehicles that drive on gasoline, diesel fuel, and in some cases, propane. Different types of phones. Here's some more phones. And the relevance of these phones with the Space Center is the process of technology, how it progresses over the years. Which is why they have these on display. Anybody who's met me in person, they know how big my hands are. And they also know how big of a pain in the neck those buttons would be to push. To this day, I still have to expand my screen so I can type properly. Amazing how far cell phones have come along, as well as everything else as far as technology goes, huh? Here's one of the remote control arms that they use in space. They may possibly have used something similar like this on the underwater explorations when they were searching shipwrecks. I'm not sure if it won't be exactly the same, I'm sure, but I'm sure there's enough similarities that would allow for that to take place. And here, this one's being utilized to pick up blocks. Again, another example of demonstration pieces that come into play. In 1989, concept sketches for video goggles were made, and nowadays they actually have them for playing video games and stuff. Here's something else that I believe is coming into play, and that's the hoverboard. This may be one of the units they use for Back to the Future, or a basis of this idea of such movie from Back to the Future 2. And speaking of Back to the Future, there might be a little matter of this. That's right, a Back to the Future DeLorean. The glowing doors, all the lights, the wiring, the 1.21 gigawatts of energy, and well-known fact about Back to the Future, they'd ice the car down for when they come back to normal time after they did time travel, and it'd be iced over, and it actually froze the struts on the gull-wing doors to where the doors actually hit the actors on the head. And this is the basis for using the DeLorean. 1950s Mercedes 300 SL. You can see why they went with the DeLorean instead. A little reading on the Back to the Future DeLorean. Here we have a wall of fame for all different astronauts. I won't show all of them because there's so many of them, but I'll do a quick panorama. Try to get all of them in there as best I can without individualizing any one or another. I know I'm going up and down with the camera, that's on purpose. I have a whole wall of different astronauts have gone through. Just incredible. And this place is non-stop. Artificial intelligence, how we connect. 42 years before Siri, there was the HAL 9000. Gives you a rundown of how it works. If I went too fast, you can always pause the video, and I apologize in advance. There's just so much to see. There's actually a little bit of a limited amount of time. Check this out. A wood blocks R2-D2. There is so much to see. Remember that little dude? The science of nonverbal communication. Voyager 1 probe reached interstellar space, making it the farthest human-made object from Earth. Interesting stuff for sure. Push to play. This place does not cease to amaze me. Okay, we're coming over to some different areas here, and we got a lot of video screens telling you a lot of different, showing a lot of different events taking place in space. And there's just so much stuff going on in here right now that you just can't. You got to highlight everything. You can't just concentrate on one area there because you'll never see the whole thing in an entire day. I mean, it is that incredible view. observation window. You can see out from outer space.
Oh, okay.
Spacecrafts.
All right, well, we trying to fast.
All kinds of different interactive items that you can do. At the International Laboratory, or National Laboratory.
Science freezer. Minus 80-degree laboratory.
There's just so much in here to see, and there's just absolutely, it's just non-stop. It's just mind-blowing how much stuff there is here. This is called a Robonaut, an astronaut helper. The stuff that's out, it's in here. It's just, I don't even know what to say. I just don't know what to say.
Is it a good picture?
It's incredible the stuff that they do. Some of the EVA tools they have here. You've got a wire tie. And Hubble Space Telescope ratchet wrench. A hammer. Now, although similar to an everyday hammer, this tool does not become brittle at negative 250 degrees Fahrenheit.
It's a robot for this.
Yeah, when all else fails, use a bigger hammer, right? The tool caddy. The tool belt. A small compound cutter. And a waist tether. Keeps them from floating away and helps keep them attached to what they're working on. And over here, we have a number of different articles of clothing and uniform pieces. You got Navy socks. It looks like a Star Trek top. Launchwear. Worn by Scott Kelly during the launch and landing. And this Soyuz. spacecraft in 2010 for ISS Expedition 26. And not to be without fun, they had chess they could play. And apparently they played with tennis balls, or maybe tried to play tennis or something, I don't know. They even had a chef's hat. Meshiagari. Exclaimed by Japanese by chef to indicate meal is ready to be enjoyed. Pajamas. I guess they wore the at the International Space Station. Here we got the space wardrobe. Oh my God, there's just so much to see here. International Space Station polo. And as we spin around, Scott Kelly's International Space Station uniform. The Russian compression suit of G. Chamatov. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Greg Chamatov. They even did special festive traditions while out in space. Soichi Noguchi wore this happy coat, traditionally worn in Japan only during festivals aboard the Japanese Kibo module of ISS. Lost in space. The other shoe in this pair is lost inside the space station. Everything floats in space, and sometimes things get lost when they float out of sight. This shoe was part of a Russian compression suit displayed to the left that belonged to astronaut Greg Chamatov. Mission Control sometimes send wanted posters to the ISS for missing items, such as tools. There are cases in which lost items have been found years later. Okay, the tennis balls I mentioned earlier. Is juggling easier or harder in 0G? Astronaut Greg Chamatov's hobbies include juggling. When another juggling enthusiast, Richard Garriott, arrived aboard the space station during Expedition 18 in 2008, the two developed a technique for juggling these 6 tennis balls without gravity. When juggling, it is essential that objects fall back after being tossed in the air. In the weightlessness aboard the station, objects tossed up will not fall back down. In addition, since a loose object may end up anywhere in space, it's better to juggle with a partner. Scott Kelly's headset that he wore in 2010. Randy Bresnik is a father whose daughter was born while he was in space. And cosmonaut Mikhail Tyurin presented these handmade flowers to fellow Expedition 14 crew member astronaut Sonny Williams. The gift was in honor of Women's Day, a public holiday in Russia. Very cool. Got a hatch cover. An aluminum sheet of INS panel. an Orion ceramic tile, which is aluminum on ceramic. And you got plastic on aluminum. A lot of aluminum being used. Amazing. I haven't even gone up to the second floor yet, so I can't wait to see what's up there. This is the T-38 flight suit of astronaut Judy Resnik. She was training for NASA's T-38 aircraft in 1980. And she was killed in the Challenger accident in 1986. And it shows here women in I'll read it out because it may not be clear and visible on the screen. But it says, the National Aeronautics and Space Administration made the decision in 1978 to break the gender barrier and began seeking women to join the U.S. astronaut corps. The first 6 women to become astronauts were Judith A. Resnik, Sally Ride, Anna Fisher, Margaret Ray Seddon, Shannon Lucid, and Catherine Sullivan. Sally Ride became the first American woman in space June 18, 1983. However, the USSR had included women as cosmonauts in its earliest groups, and Soviet Valentina V. Tereshkova was the first female in space on June 16, 1963. Catherine Sullivan made the first spacewalk by an American woman in 1984 on STS-41G. And Eileen Collins became the first woman shuttle pilot during STS-63 in February 1995, the mission that successfully rendezvoused with the Russian space station Mir. And it's quoted as saying that astronauts don't have to be very feminine or very masculine women or very superhuman males, or any color or anything, said Judith Resnik in 1979 while training with the astronaut corps. It's about people in space. Couldn't say it better myself. This is the RX-5 spacesuit, or what they call the RX-5 hard suit. And here we have the RX-5, the story of the RX-5 hard suit. Looking at the RX-5 hard suit, you might be reminded of the Knight's protective armor. Similarly, spacesuits are designed to protect astronauts when they are confronted with the potentially lethal environment of space. Because there is no atmospheric pressure and no oxygen in space, it has become extreme temperatures, and the potential of being hit by orbital debris are ever constant threats. Hard suits, such as the prototype RX-5, have been designed for extended moon exploration and extended spacewalks. Although the RX-5 was determined to be too heavy, too bulky, and too difficult to store on the Apollo spacecraft, and therefore was never used on the moon, it represents an important beginning in the design of future hard suits that will be necessary if humans are to continue to explore space for longer periods of time. The RX-5 hard suit was one of 7 RX rigid experimental suits developed between 1962 and 1968 under NASA sponsorship. Designed with a hard torso shell and a quick operating body seal closure that made it relatively easy to put on, the RX hard suit was radically different from earlier fabric spacesuits. The RX-5 had a sandwich structure with a thin aluminum inner sheet covered by fiberglass honeycomb, then covered by a layer of fiberglass. The suit had an operating pressure of 5 pounds per square inch and weighed about 90 pounds. In addition, numerous joints and bearings built into the suit function to provide the astronaut with as much flexibility as possible. And here's an illustration of the suit. As we come over to the other side of the display, we can learn a little bit about the the Mark III. Reading it aloud, like many technological innovations, spacesuits are continually being improved. From the Mercury to the Gemini, Apollo, Skylab, and Space Shuttle eras, each generation of spacesuits have been conceived, reworked, and redesigned to deal with the new challenges of longer and more demanding space flights. Currently, scientists and engineers at 2 NASA facilities are designing an entirely new generation of spacesuits for future work in space, which may include the construction and maintenance of a space station, a lunar base, or even a Mars base. The prototype Mark III is an exciting example of a futuristic hard suit. As a combination of the hard and soft suits, it is specifically designed to be easily taken on and off, and to provide comfort, flexibility, and increased range of motion for jobs that need to get done. It can be altered to fit different male and female astronaut body sizes. In addition, the Mark III provides protection from the constant hazards of space during extravehicular activities. One of the greatest features of this hard suit, however, is the ability to enable astronauts to step out into space quickly, in the event of an emergency or to save valuable work time. Shuttle spacesuits, for example, require that astronauts spend hours breathing pure oxygen before the spacewalk. This pre-breathing process is necessary to regulate nitrogen in the bloodstream, enable their bodies to adapt to differences in pressure between the spacecraft cabin and the spacesuit. Wearing a suit like this would eliminate the need for pre-breathing and would provide the advantage of going out into space in much less time. And I have an illustration of how that suit is. These are the solar panels that are used on the International Space Station. They are big. The next part of the tour we're going to be doing here at the Space Center is going to be a tram tour. We're going to go to different rockets they have on the property, and we're going to be able to see a whole bunch of different sites. This will be my first time as well, so this is going to be a great experience. Let's get the shot and have some fun with it. That'll give you a general idea of what the tram shuttles look like that we'll be riding on here for this next part of the tour. Normally you guys set up an advance notice, but because we're coming toward the end of the day, because it's open from 10 to 5, that it's going to allow everybody to get on here who wants to get on here. And I'm jumping on the opportunity right now, and we're looking forward to getting ready to do the rocket scenes, to see all the rockets and different spaceships they have here, and it's going to be fun. Let's check it out.
Texas Longhorn grazing this pasture. This is called the Longhorn Project. It's the leaders in land, the local school districts, and various other partners who are responsible for maintaining the land and the cattle. In turn, the project provides science and ag schools to educate thousands of students each year in partnership with the Future Powers of America program.
There's a Saturn V painting on the side of the building here. And we got Texas Longhorns.
On your right, you see a
talking about the shakiness, it's where the tram is.
The Saturn V rocket. The Saturn V is the tallest, most longest, most powerful rocket ever flown. It is one of on display, one of three, where all three pieces are wheel and flight certified from Apollo's 18, 19, and 20, which was canceled because NASA got their budget cut because it occurred during the time of the Vietnam War in the 1970s. So these are wheel pieces. So this is a wheel rocket. It is 36 feet tall, 60 feet taller than the Statue of Liberty. On your right, you can see two small rockets, the black, white, and red rockets, and Mercury Redstone. That's the same model rocket to send Alan Shepard to be our first American astronaut to suborbital space in response to the Soviet Union sending up their Russian cosmonaut Yuri Gagarin. NASA repurposed Alan Shepard's rocket from an intercontinental ballistic missile. They basically took the warhead off the rocket and ran some tests and stuck its chair on the top and told Alan Shepard to and asked Alan Shepard what he thought about being launched on top of a former intercontinental ballistic missile into space. Obviously, it did not have as much thrust power as the Saturn V, but it just had enough power to get into space. While Alan Shepard was supposed to go up into space, John Glenn was supposed to orbit the Earth 2 to 3 times to be exact. Similar rocket that was within the same similar class of rockets as Alan Shepard's, but not the same rocket, but they were both intercontinental ballistic missiles. The second rocket with the yellow scaffolding is called Little Joe 2. That was a test rocket used by the Apollo program to test the launch escape system, the white tower-like structure at the top of the rocket. That was been used in the event of an emergency to safely remove the astronauts from the command module from the rest of the rocket. We are now ready back at rocket pump. Once the tram comes to a full complete stop, you may exit on the left-hand side. When you are ready, you can be here as long as you like. And when you are ready to head back to Space City Houston, please line up underneath the covered awning over there. Thank you. I hope you have a great rest of your day at Rocket Pump.
Okay, there's a little placard on the Little Joe 2 rocket to my left. I'll show you that up close and personal in a moment. And I want to apologize again for the rough ride on the tram. It's just the way the tram is. It's out of my control on that one. But getting to the Little Joe 2 plaque here, it says Little Joe 2. The first major flight tests in the Apollo program were performed by the Little Joe 2 launch vehicle. These unmanned flights tested the command module launch escape system and qualified it for operational use in the Apollo program. The test series involved 5 Little Joe 2 launches at the White Sands Missile Range in New Mexico. Launch dates were August 28, 1963, May 13, 1964, December 8, 1964, May 19, 1965, and January 20th, 1966. During its time, the Little Joe 2 was the most powerful solid rocket launch vehicle in the U.S. inventory, with a maximum total thrust of 816,200 pounds provided by 7 Aerojet Algol 1D motors. The trajectory of the vehicle was controlled by varying the launch angle. It was guided by a combination of aerodynamic fins and reaction jets. Atop this Little Joe 2 is the Boilerplate 22 command module, flown on the 4th flight. Little Joe 2 was designed and manufactured for the National Aeronautics and Space Administration by General Dynamics Convair Division in San Diego, California. That is Little Joe 2. That is absolutely incredible. The transport frame that it rode on as well. There's the size of track it ran on. Put my foot on there so you can see a comparison. It's a big track. Billboard on there. Give you a chance to read that. Here shows the Little Joe motor configuration cross section and what it looked like. And right there is where they would have mounted them. And that's what it looked like when launching. Now behind me is this unit right here. This is a Mercury Redstone. And the F1 engine, power for the rocket, is right there. I got to back up all the way to the top of the ramp in order to get the whole thing in the shot. And you can tell by the size of the people compared to the size of the rocket engine, and this engine is big. Absolutely huge. I'm 6'2", and by way of comparison, at 6'2", I just cleared this sign right here. So that is a massive, massive engine. That's called the F1. This one is called the J2, and you can see this is a big one as well. It's easily got to be 20 feet tall right here. This one here's got to be at least 30 feet tall, maybe closer to 35 feet tall. The cars, I should give you the specs on this one. This is the J2. Alright, so then it's 11 feet tall. $230 pounds force of thrust. That's a lot of power. Now let's go back over here to the F1. 19 feet tall. Okay, so I can't measure for anything. 19 feet tall, 12 feet in diameter, 1.5 million pounds force of thrust. That is big. Saturn V was lifted to 38 miles and had 6,000 miles per hour. Jesus. I don't think the state police will be able to catch you at that speed, huh? Here's that rock I was telling you about there. That's just huge. Look. Foam. To help protect the atmospheric conditions out from inside the unit. Hold that there a few minutes so you can get a reading on that. And we're going to go over to this engine over here. Sorry about that. I leave my blunders in the videos, why not? 205,000 pounds of force for thrust. Unreal. Give you an idea of comparison, me versus the engine here. It's huge. This is incredible. Going to see what's inside the Rocket Park building. is going to be good, I can tell you already. Oh my. Oh my, oh my, oh my. This is the Saturn V. This sucker is big. My God. Holy crap.
Maybe that was an inspired misdirection. We needed to. See the launcher?
Best I can for trying to zoom it in so you guys can see the board here. I'll go slowly when I panoramic it so you guys can read it all.
$209,000.
209,000 gallons of kerosene this thing burns, along with 334,500 gallons of liquid oxygen. 5 F1s on this thing for the engines. 7,500,000 pounds force of thrust. 2.5 minutes of burn time. $6,000 miles per hour. Think about this. At 6,000 miles per hour, I can leave the Houston, Texas City area, Texas, and come back home to my parents' house in Harveys Lake, Pennsylvania, in about 15 minutes and 45 seconds. At 6,000 miles per hour. Because it's 1,600 miles to my parents' house at Harveys Lake, Pennsylvania. 1629 to be exact. So I'd be looking at about 16 minutes of travel time with this thing to go from Texas City to Harveys Lake, Pennsylvania.
209,000 gallons of kerosene. 334,500 gallons.
This thing pretty much goes the length of the entire building.
Potasio técnico que le enfría con operador de función de calentar el combustible, beneficioso, y enfriar los cabezas.
This is just unbelievable. Rocket comes in 4 stages, I think it is. Yeah, looks like 4 stages. Jesus, it's unbelievable. Here's going to be a real treat for you. We got stairs. We have no ropes. We have access. We'll look inside of the front or top segment of the rocket. You can see the wiring connections and everything else like that. So how the bracing was internally. And on the other side, you see the inside of segment 3. Oh man. To get this close and personal to this equipment is just I'm speechless. I am totally at a loss of words. This is incredible. Thank you, NASA, for keeping this stuff around and not scrapping it. This is the front part.
Look at me. Everybody look right here.
Here's some statues indicating the success of the space journey. Here's another view of it. And we have a little plaque.
Come on, Isaac.
Let me read it aloud for you. It's the National Historic Mechanical Engineering Landmark, Saturn V rocket, 1967 to 1973. The largest rocket built at the time of the historic first missions to the moon, the Saturn V carried aloft the 45-ton Apollo spacecraft on Earth orbital and lunar missions from 1967 to 1972. It also launched the 120-ton Skylab into the Earth orbit on May 14, 1973. Design and fabrication of the Saturn V were carried out by a government industry team which included the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, Boeing Company, the North American Rockwell McDonnell Douglas Corporation, International Business Machines, and subcontractors. Many of the design features were outgrowths of the earlier development work accomplished by the military service organizations and their contractors. The American Society of Mechanical Engineers, 1980. Here's a cool underside view of it from right underneath the nose piece. And as we come along this wall, they show some banners here. Different pictures and different things like that. Little quote here, that last footprint on the moon, check it out, it's my boot size, said Eugene A. Cernan. The American flag on the moon. One of the vehicles they left on the moon. They say you put fresh batteries in it, that thing will start up and run again. There is another one somewhere, I'm not sure exactly where they have it now, but there is another one here on Earth. The wheels are actually made out of like the equivalent of a piano wire so that they wouldn't explode out in outer space. Here's a close-up of the astronaut driving it. Picture of them on it. It's understood that they left it there because it was too difficult to put it back on the rocket to come back to Earth. So they left it up there as well as putting a flag up there. Here's a nice shot of that on the moon. More moonwalking. More driving off-road on the moon cruiser there. I may be going to do this backwards, but that's all right. Took some still shots to give you an example of some of this stuff. But this is one of the most incredible museums I've ever been to. It's $30 to get in here. It's worth every penny. Kids, I think $4 to $11 or $21 to get in here. Again, you can't go wrong with a trip like this. This is definitely worth it. I'll try to get some still shots of each of the 4 pieces of the Apollo, of this Saturn V here. This is something I was reading on that definitely needs to be brought up here. I'll read it aloud. On January 27, 1967, tragedy struck the Apollo program when a flash fire occurred in Command Module 012 during a launch pad test of the Apollo Saturn space vehicle being prepared for the first piloted flight, the AS-204, named Apollo 1 mission. 3 astronauts, Lieutenant Colonel Virgil I. Grissom, a veteran of Mercury and Gemini missions, Lieutenant Colonel Edward H. White, the astronaut who performed the first United States extravehicular activity during the Gemini program, and Roger B. Chaffee, an astronaut preparing for his first space flight, died in this tragic accident. Here you can see the remnants of the flash fire that took place in question. Virgil Grissom was quoted as saying, "We are in a risky business, and we hope that if anything happens to us, it will not delay the program. The conquest of space is worth the risk of life." Bold words. Very brave. As mentioned, he was one who passed away in this situation. Different pictures, including them escaping the pod, and looks like possibly construction of the pod. And here are the 3 men who passed away in this unfortunate accident. Here's a restoration, saving America's treasures. Here to talk about the rocket, the Saturn V rocket, which is behind me, that we're in the building it's housed in. There in the next paragraph it talks about being an endangered historic icon. There a little bit more. These are the people who helped make it possible to do the restoration on the Saturn V. Some of the rust issues that it endured. And here's a piece of it, an example of how it corroded. They sat there and did everything from using putty knives and scraping tools to scrape all the rust and paint off of it so they can freshen it up. And cleaning everything up on it to make it back to original condition again. And one more pan back. All the way up to that wall. All the parts of the Saturn V, as well as the units they use to transport it. Here's a look inside the back of the engines. Now I was outside. They had one on display, and I went ahead and looked at that earlier. So I'll show you what it looks like when it's attached to the unit. Unreal. Just want to get a quick shot here of the space shuttle on top of the, what was that, 747?
Yes, sir. The NASA 905.
NASA 905, 747, with the Space Shuttle Independence on top of it.
Yep. The interior of the airplane completely stripped out to make it lightweight enough so that they could actually take off with the weight of the space shuttle on top.
Excellent information. Thank you very much.
No problem. You want even more excellent information? Are you from the Houston area?
I just moved here in July.
Okay, so then back in the 90s, when they put that airplane on display, they actually had to take the wings off and the fuselage. They mounted it on giant 18-wheelers, big flatbed trucks, just drove it right down the highway from the pier all the way here to the visitor center.
No kidding.
Yep.
That's incredible. That is excellent. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. All right, heading back to the tram, folks. Got some great information from one of the curators here at the museum, talking about how they brought that 747 in, and about the fact that the plane is completely stripped out to save weight for hauling the space shuttle around as it goes. Incredible information. Big thanks to that curator. Now back to the tram. Over here, it's a rough ride. Sorry, folks. I can't. Again, I'm on the tram, so the ride is bumpy. I can't help that. That's out of my control. But try to get you a look at some Longhorns. Okay. Here we're over the wing of the 747 that carries the space shuttle. This one being the Independence. That's a mounting point how the shuttle attaches to the 747. We're going all the way up to the top of there because I think we can get into the shuttle. That would be cool. Okay, now we're in the 747, the N905N.
And yes, we can actually use the 747 to separate the space shuttle enterprise.
Here's some of the installation of the 747.
First gliding flights of the space shuttle.
They gutted the plane out to drop weight for the space shuttle, which we were informed about over at the Saturn V display. This is so cool. We even have stability weights here. This helps keep the plane stable when it's carrying the space shuttle above. Just doing a quick view here because we're getting ready to close out here. But here's a model of it.
It's one of the strangest sights in all of aviation.
1/40th scale.
A 747 airliner piggybacking a 165,000-pound space shuttle. Wow. Who dreamed up this remarkable partnership?
Make memories, I understand.
Absolutely.
Sir, in the military, sir?
Just a quick underside view of the 747. Landing gear in the front. Landing gear in the rear. You can see the doors for the landing gear. When it's airborne, the gear goes up, the doors shut, and maintains maximum aerodynamics with less drag. I didn't get to do the second half of the 747, but unfortunately, the Space Center is closing now for the day. But I'm going to be getting membership. I'm going to spend $149 because it is so worth it. And it's It's not even funny. This is incredible. I definitely enjoyed this visit. If you ever get a chance to come down here, you will not be disappointed. I'll end it on this shot right here. If you like this, please like, share, and subscribe. I'll catch you in the next video. Have a great one. Goodbye.